What's up, YouTube? Diggy546. This is my off-season plan for the New York Football Giants. I've been sitting back, I've been watching, been taking in all this combine information, been taking in pretty much everything from everywhere. And I'm going to tell you the best plan, what Dave Gettleman should be doing, what Dave Gettleman needs to go ahead and stop what he's doing right now, cut on this video, and you're going to get an extra 5 or 6 wins guaranteed just from following what I do. Step 1, free agency coming up in about a week and a half. Pretty hard to negotiate with these players before free agency starts. Go ahead, franchise tag Leonard Williams. Franchise him. Who else are we going to use it on? We're not going to franchise tag anybody else. Franchise tag Leonard Williams. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Pay him the $15 million. Pretty much, who cares? You already screwed us over anyway. So franchise tag Leonard Williams. Get that out of the way. He's an above average starter. He has the chance to go ahead and break out or not. But Leonard Williams is on our roster. Pretty much if we franchise tag him and he leaves next year, we'll still get a 3rd round comp pick. Which will pretty much give us the middle of what we traded away, which is a 3rd and a 4th if we re-sign him. So if he leaves next year, we get a 3rd round comp pick. You get something back pretty much, right in the middle of that 3rd and 4th round pick is an end of the 3rd round pick. So you get something back for him. So go ahead and franchise tag him. Get it out of the way. That's gone. I'm going to go ahead. Our cap space is technically at 78, 77, something like that million. But I'm going to go ahead and say we clear up some extra cap space, restructure. So I'll just put us at 85 million to be healthy. So you take 15 away from that 85 million, that leaves you with $70 million. First thing you need to be doing when free agency starts, you need to retain Marcus Golden. But at the right price, though. You have to get Marcus Golden back at the right price. Marcus Golden, as soon as it gets up to 15 million, you got to cut your losses. You pretty much got to say goodbye. But if you can get Marcus Golden for $14.5 million, do it all day. 4 years. I'm thinking give him a 3-year deal, $14.5 million a year. Maybe even if you do a 3-year deal, you could pay him $15 million a year. But that's what I'm looking at for Marcus Golden. 15, 14. I'll say 15 to be solid. So that immediately, shoring up, just bringing back the players that you had playing last year on a pretty horrid defense is going to basically leave you with, take away from the 70, $55 million. At that point, you have to get an impact player on defense. Jack Conklin, I know he's the best right tackle. Our problem wasn't necessarily right tackle. Mike Remmers was pretty bad. He had a bad back. But at the same time, Chad Wheeler came in and filled in pretty good. I'm not saying put all your eggs in Chad Wheeler's basket, but I'm also not saying put all your eggs in Jack Conklin's basket because we don't know if he can stay healthy. And he's going to command 18, 19 million a year, maybe 17, but that's a little too much for me. That's a little bit too much for the right tackle. It just is. Nate Solder was the issue. Nate Solder was the one causing the fumbles. And Daniel Jones is athletic enough to adjust the pressure that he sees coming right at him. If not, then he shouldn't be out there. So, next, we want to look at Byron Jones. I know not every Giants fan wants Byron Jones. When I first heard the news about us being interested in him, I was kind of sick to my stomach. But when I really thought about it, he's a top 7. He's a top 7 corner in the league. Maybe top 5. He has a chance to get better. He's not an interceptor. He's not that kind of guy, but he's a physical corner. He can jump out of the gym. He's fast. He can get his hands on guys. He can press. He can stay with guys. He can run. He can play bump and run. He can play zone. He can play safety. He can play box linebacker. He can play slot corner. He can play all over the field. Byron Jones, he's worth it. Pay him the $18 million. Let's say it's $18 million. Maybe it's 19. I'll say it's 18. So, the last time I checked, we were at $50 million. Take away $18 million from that, you're at $32 million. Then you got to start looking at guys like Kyle Van Noy. I'll say we get him on a tremendous deal. He's familiar with Joe Judge. We negotiate. Of course, the salary cap is pretty fluid. You can always renegotiate. So I'll say we get Kyle Van Noy on $10 million a year, which leaves us $22 million. Going into the draft, Dave Gettleman said he wanted to leave $20 million, but Dave Gettleman lies all the time. Giants fans, we know Dave Gettleman lies literally all the time. So why would we believe anything that Dave Gettleman has to say? So Kyle Van Noy, he signed. That's leaving us at $22 million. $22 million left. You need $10 million for your draft class. That's non-negotiable. And then we're going to look at a guy like Cameron Fleming, a guy like Jason Peters, and we're going to pay them. Jason Peters is probably going to command a lot. It's a one-year deal. Who cares? We can pay him $13 million a year or however much he wants. It's a one-year deal. Daniel Jones isn't going to be coming up for a contract for a while. Same with Saquon. It's a one-year deal, literally. So pay him whatever he wants. Jason Peters, you can pay him literally whatever Jason Peters wants. He may not stay healthy, but it's a one-year rental, and you stick him over at left tackle or right tackle, wherever you want to stick him, and that gives us a starter. And the offensive line has already improved because he's better than Remmers. Even injured, he's better than Remmers. And, you either look there or you look at Cameron Fleming, who's familiar with Jason Garrett, who's familiar with the Patriots, with Joe Judge. So you can get one of those two guys, and that basically takes you down to almost nothing. And, it's not an exact science, but all those deals are high balls. You might not get Marcus Golden back. You might just get Kyle Van Noy, and Marcus Golden goes. But I feel that you have to franchise tag Leonard Williams because you're going to get your worth out of him. He's not going to be a horrible player, but he's not. I don't know what he's going to do this year. He might break out, but you franchise tag him. Next year, worst case scenario, we lose him. We get a comp pick. That kind of gives us something back for trading him away. So that's pretty much the plan. Leonard Williams, Marcus Golden, Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy, and Cameron Fleming or Jason Peters. That's free agency, and I'll get back to you guys for what I think we should do for the draft.